Okay, I've removed the triple tree again, and where I showed you that plastic spacer that I was using to hold it down, I took the spacer off and marked where the amount of space that I had left, which is this top line. Basically, this is the top of where the top washer and spacer comes. I have not machined this down from the original in length. It's all been machined down to 1" OD, but I haven't machined the top down, so that's a good thing to note because there's very little to play with. It actually works out very nicely. I could have gained a little bit more if I had removed the bottom race fully, obviously, but you know, whatever, we're talking 1/4 of an inch. So the idea here is to actually put a thread on this outer taper, I mean on this outer surface, ideally down to this bottom line here. That will be below the spacer. That means I'll be able to get tension on the bearings, and I've got plenty of wall thickness. The whole point of doing this is to show people that you can do this stuff for nothing. So far this has cost me absolutely zero. You may have had to go out and buy 3 washers, so even if you were to do it by hand without a lathe. But this is what I have here, and I'm lucky to have found it. I have a 1" by 14 threads per inch tap. My other choice was a 1" by 27 threads, which would have been better actually. Much more adjustment on the bearings, as it were, for tension. But it doesn't fit in this holder, and this is the only holder that I've got. So it's going to be a 1" 14 if I can actually cut it in. I'm hand tapping it. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is never going to fly. If it does, it's going to be 3 feet with me pulling a wheelie, and that's it. Probably shortly followed by me falling off. So on top of this thread that I'm going to cut in here, I will also be running a second hardened bolt, as stated before, right the way through this thing. So there's a complete redundancy. Even though it should be as safe as the factory, even with 1 thread cut in, this will have a hardened bolt. So if anything, it should be tougher and stronger. So there we go. I'll show you the results. I do not have anybody to film this, so I can't show you how I do it. I just have to show you the end result, unfortunately. Okay. Damn, I actually wish I could have filmed that for you, videoed it for you, because I've done a lot of hand tapping in my time, and that was absolutely beautiful. This thing is machined to 1" OD, which is the neck bearings. So I did not have to machine it down at all to run this 1" 14 tap. And the aluminum that they use on the Yamaha stem is beautiful. I believe it's a 6 series tempered. Could even be a 7 series, because it's just designed to take a thread. This was done by hand, and literally when I turned the camera off was a minute or before I'm showing you this. This is how long it took. If you have the right tools, that means I've just got to carefully take it off the end. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. 1 pass. You know, I'm actually reasonably practiced at doing this, but just use lots of cutting fluid, and always remember to clear the threads. Do not try your bind up, especially on aluminum. But this is beautiful. Once I get that 1" 14 nut on there, and it's running through, capturing the top, that's golden. Okay, here we go, back at the Sportster again, and what has arrived is that 1" by 14 hardened nut. It took a day to get here. Around, but by the time I find them, it's quicker to buy one and get it shipped. This is my first expense, $2.50. It is very nicely made, and it will be the last thing that ever breaks on it. Everything else will break before this nut does. So that now nicely fits onto the top of our triple tree. And these are the parts involved. Let me take this nut off again. So you've got the 3 spacers, That's the top shield for the top bearing, and the top bearing is there. So top bearing shield, 3 spacers, nut, 3 spacers, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Top bearing shield, top triple tree. Nothing special. The only thing I changed on the triple tree since last time is I painted. I just threw some satin black on this quickly to get rid of the grind marks, but that's it. Nothing else has been done. I'm going to try and install it on this front end. To do that, I only have one set of hands, so I'm going to use my die lift table, if I can manage this, to actually hold the triple tree in whilst I can show you the installation of the top. So there it goes into the bottom. Let me see if I can wangle this thing over. Okay, and now, sorry, bear with me here, I need to bring up the height of this table to hold this triple tree, and that's it. There we go. That's now in place. I hope you can see what's going on here. So that's the top thing with the top threads. So now I take the top race. None of these have been greased up yet, so it's because I'm still mocking all this stuff up. So that fits lovely over the top of that. Then we take the top shield, and that goes there. Then we take our 2 spacers, 2 washers. That's these 2 here. And these are the ones that fit into the divot at the bottom of the triple tree, and we put those. They're a tight fit, those. So that's it. Top spacers are in. That now sits on top of those 2 spacers beautifully. So there we have that. Now top washer, which goes into the divot again, nicely machined to fit on the top triple tree. And ideally, you could put some sort of not a spring washer; it'd probably be too fat. But maybe well, here let me show you these. These spring washers, you could put these on. I will be putting thread lock on it, and obviously it's going to have this bolt running right the way through as a redundancy. This, what I'm doing now, is how Harley Davidson did it on the original stem. 1 capture nut, and that's it. If that broke, your front end fell off. I've got 2. Even if this whole stem snapped, there'll be a bolt running through that would stop the front end from actually falling off. So it's all beautiful and tight. I've already, when you tighten it up, there's no play in the bearings at all. It's a lovely fit, and this is all cosmetic. Obviously, eventually what I will do is put a cover over the top of this that sits on top of the triple tree. That will have the bolt running through it and captured the bottom. That means that they're both holding systems are independent of each other, and if either one goes, the other one still backs it up. So might be a little bit anal, but it's not the sort of thing you want to worry about when riding your bike down the street. So there you go. That's the top triple trees. They are fitted, and that cost me a total of $2.50 so far. And the labour involved, obviously. So now I'm going to put the forks on, and we can see what it actually looks like. And I can show you what's going to happen here. There's no, I haven't got the hardened bolt, but essentially this is a half-inch, holds a half-inch bolt beautifully, standard from the factory, and this will be one hardened bolt. You can see what's going to go on. I can show you down the road, but basically it's plain and clear what will occur for the rest of the capture system. So that's it. I'll show you it with the front. So there she blows. That's the front end installed. Front wheel is on, the brakes, it's all loosely fitted, but it's basically what it will be. The only problem that I could see with the brakes and all that is I just need to lengthen the little reservoir tube, which can be tucked anywhere. I'm going to be getting rid of that little tab that I was talking about, because I can put it anywhere in forks or so. This is it. That's how it sits. I dropped the jack to approximately, it's going to have a big fat front wheel on it. It could come down another inch or so, but that's basically the sort of stance that you get. Lovely clip-ons. You can do all sorts of things with these. Just by even flipping them over, they turn into straight drag bars. Yeah, very, very cool. So this is the front end down there. Twin discs, unlike the original. Now let me see if I can turn these. There you go. Adjustable shocks, gas shocks in the front. Absolutely lovely. And then, so basically we went from this, that was the original Sportster front end, bent forks and the original triple trees, and the original bearings from the R1. We went from that to that for $2.50. Plus the front end cost me, I paid $4 for everything, which is pretty damn cheap as it's in excellent shape. As I say, 2008 Yamaha. I don't know what models are the same. They're all similar, and I'm sure you could do the same thing with all of them. So that's it. I've now got to decide what I'm going to do with the back end on the thing. Whether I hardtail it or I might try and do something funky monoshock wise. We'll see. So there you go. R1 front end installed on a 91 Sportster. Have fun.